Welcome back to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Wednesday, November 13th at 5 o'clock, the Greater Elizabeth Chamber of Commerce will have their Business After Hours networking event at Noches de Colombia, located at 584 Bayway Avenue. And if you want more information, please contact the Chamber at 908-355-7600. The Chamber of Commerce mixers are a great way for the business community to meet each other and to help each other with their needs in the community. On Thursday, November 14th at 11 o'clock, a fire department promotional ceremony in City Council chambers. One member of the department will be promoted to deputy chief, one to battalion chief, and one to captain. And on Saturday, November 16th at 7 o'clock, the Boy Scout Troop 101 will have their Court of Honor and dinner. This event will be held at Our Lady of Fatima Church, located at 403 Spring Street, and I will present commendations as well. From Monday, November 18th to Friday, November 22nd, the New Jersey League of Municipalities will have their 104th annual conference in Atlantic City. The League of Municipalities gathers municipal officials together with this year's theme of igniting local engagement. The conference is the largest gathering of public officials, and this year the thousands of delegates will have the opportunity to attend numerous educational sessions and workshops dealing with land use, housing, public health, economic development, public safety, taxation, budgeting, and much more. I'll be hosting a seminar on the urban enterprise zone, and for more information, you can visit the League of Municipalities website at www.njslom.org. And if you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. And for this week's show, I'm pleased to be joined by Ms. Stephanie Pestana, who is the Leo advisor of the Elizabeth Portuguese Lions Club, and we're going to talk about the community Thanksgiving luncheon that the Lions Club and the Leo have put on for many years here in the city of Elizabeth. Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor, for having me.
It's good to see you.
Likewise. It's my pleasure.
So besides this, you are currently also the president of the Elizabeth Board of Education.
I am.
So you're wearing a couple of hats this year.
Multiple. It's been a busy year.
So how many years have you been involved, before we go to Board of Ed stuff, how many years have you been involved in the Community Thanksgiving Luncheon?
So I have been involved with our community luncheon for over 15 years. I remember back when we used to actually host it at St. Pat's at the church, and we're talking about many, many years ago, before having it at Stephen Sampson Center.
So you were a Leo.
I was a Leo. That's how I started off in this wonderful organization.
Now tell us about the Leos. That's up to a certain age group, and are both male and females in Leos?
That is correct, Mayor. The Leos, back at my time, we were an Omega group. It was from the ages of 12 until 18. And then usually what happened with the Leos is then they would actually transition into becoming a Lion. So that's how I now hold my position in the Lions. I've been a Lion for about 10 years, and I was involved in the Leos for about another 6 years prior.
And the Lions Club, the Portuguese Lions Club, is extremely active in our city, always has been.
Always has been.
So tell us what the Lions mission really is.
Our mission is actually just to mainly to serve the blind. So we collect glasses every year. We have a eyeglass mailbox over at the Lion Triangle on the corner of Elmora and, help me out here.
We're in West Grand.
West Grand, thank you. So we have that. We do, cleanups. We actually, every year, about 2 times a year, we go over to Camp Marsala. We actually sponsor a cabin for the Camp Marsala, and they actually have groups of kids with special needs that go there over the summer for campsites. So we do a lot.
Are those kids in those camps challenged with their sight or other issues as well?
Both.
Both?
Both, multiple.
And so tell us about yourself. You an Elizabethan, born and bred, or no?
Born and raised,
you
and
are.
absolutely love it.
Good.
Born and raised.
And recently married?
Recently married, about 6 months ago.
Good.
So it's been a busy year.
I know. I was going to say, you got a lot of stuff going on, right?
We got to keep ourselves busy when we can, right?
So the idea of the annual Thanksgiving event, now naturally, it's gone on before you became active with the Leos.
I want to say for possibly over 30 years.
Yeah. So do you know how it got started, or?
I actually don't. That's how, that's how.
So how do you help them continue it then?
just to make it keep happening. We just love this fact that we have a sense of community. We're able to host this luncheon year after year to not only for the less fortunate who can't afford to have a warm plate of food in front of them on Thanksgiving Day, but also we like to target our seniors. We want to make sure that they don't have the sense that they're alone, and we like to come and have them join us so that they're not alone on the holiday.
So where is it held now?
It is actually held at Stephen Sampson Center. Thanks to our great city and our great relationship that we have, we're able to host it at that beautiful site.
And we get a few hundred people there, right?
We normally serve about 200 to 300 servings each and every year.
And how does that happen? I mean, you got a lot of volunteers. Who coordinates all this stuff?
Teamwork.
Yeah, I know. But who does the cooking? Who does? I mean,
so
how do we get the people there? There's a lot of effort.
There's a lot of moving pieces to this puzzle, Mayor. So it starts with a committee with the board or the Lions, and we actually keep it going, and we push to keep it going for such a good cause. Our cooking is done actually by Mr. Grova Sr., who comes each and every year all the way from Florida to keep this going. He has his kitchen staff, and they start prepping 2 weeks prior. They make sure that they roast all of our turkeys the 2 nights before. We're talking about our men actually bring their own cutlery, their own aprons. They make it happen, and we make it happen. We actually offer transportation, and that's thanks to our Office of Aging. We have a police officer that goes. We have designated pickup locations for our senior centers, and it's a teamwork. It's a team effort, and hopefully, knock on wood, we will not see this event die anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, every year I go, it always seems to be well attended, and the volunteers. Sometimes you have, at times of the day, you have more volunteers than you have people.
We do.
So they come from all over too.
They come from all over, and I'm just talking about not being a part of a organization. This is a holiday that you always have people just reaching out via social media or via text messages on a holiday like this of Thanksgiving and giving thanks. They just want to be able to feel that they can assist in a thing like this. So we always get about 50 to 100 volunteers. In the beginning of it, there's actually more volunteers than actual people. But then, slowly the room starts filling in once these, drop-off locations start dropping off at the center. But people want to be able to do something good.
And is that the reason you keep coming back, Stephanie? I mean, because you started as a young lady, and now.
I'm still a young lady.
You're still a young lady. Jeez, I got to be careful what I say.
I'm still a young lady.
I was going to say young girl, but I don't know if that was politically correct either. So you've been there a long time. I mean, since you were little. So are there others?
We do.
We
do have
started
young
with you
people.
as young girls,
Absolutely. And they're still with us. And there's a sense of greatness just seeing, especially for Thanksgiving morning, where you have the volunteers that are not home, not prepping their own Thanksgiving dinner, and you actually see families coming out. So here you have a mother and a father, and you actually have them bring their kids, and they have, I think it's just great to see them giving back to the community or to those less fortunate. And you know what? You start them young.
You do.
You
just
start
keep
them
going.
young.
So how many meals do you think you'll serve?
We serve about 300.
Now, who pays for it? How do you get? Do you get
Great
contributions?
We get lots of contributions and lots of donations all throughout. So it can vary from local businesses to elected officials wanting to give back as well, just regular community members that want to give back. And this whole luncheon is actually, there's no cost to the Lions. So, we have, again, supermarkets that donate their turkeys. You have elected officials that do the pumpkin pies, the sodas, the coffees, and it's a lot of moving pieces to a puzzle.
And who are the? You're not the coordinator, right? The coordinator.
No, I am not.
Yeah. Who are the coordinators?
So they used to be Mr. Nelson Montero and Mr. Jubilo Alfonso. They were our main coordinators. This year there's a little change, so it's actually the Lions as a whole. We work together and we make sure everything gets done. We have a checkoff list.
So if somebody wants to donate or help, who do they call or where do they write?
They can reach out to our Lion Club president, which is Miss Stephanie Vieira. Her phone number is 973-714-7098. But if you know any Lion that sits on the board, please feel free to just contact one of us and we'll make sure that happens.
And what do you serve that day besides turkey?
All the good stuff. We have the turkey, we have mashed potatoes, we have
stuffing? Oh, okay.
We have cranberry sauce, we have coffee, we have desserts. It's a full course meal.
Stephanie, we're going to take a break, run
Absolutely.
some commercials, come back and talk more about the Lions Club effort on Thanksgiving Community Day.
Thank you.
Please stay with us after these messages. I'll be back with more with Stephanie Pestana about the Thanksgiving Day Luncheon hosted by the Lions Club here at the Sampson Center.
Just minutes from New York City, we are the gateway to the state of New Jersey. Experience Elizabeth. It all starts here. Just minutes from New York City, we are the gateway to the state of New Jersey. Experience Elizabeth. It all starts here. Just minutes from New York City, we are the gateway to the state of New Jersey. Experience Elizabeth. It all starts here.
We're an American original, dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started.
New Jersey is the cockpit of the revolution, and this was the center of the cockpit in many ways. Elizabeth became the center, really, of the skirmishing that went on during what we call the Forage Wars. Here in Elizabethtown, you will find that this was also the marketplace of the revolution. And Elizabethtown became a major jumping off spot for what we called the London trade. We would like to commemorate, certainly, the brave men who lived and gave their lives to our quest for independence. I can say it about the good people of Elizabethtown, just as I did when I was out on Long Island. And I will never forget this, looking down from the Brooklyn Heights at the Jamaica Pass and seeing the brave men of the Maryland regiments fighting a rearguard action to allow the rest of our army to retreat. And they were surrounded and completely overwhelmed, but they would not give up their positions, and I watched them fall one by one, and I said, dear God, how many brave men must I lose before this business ends? I would certainly like to invite everyone to come to Elizabethtown and see where this war was fought. The war for your independence, for your liberties, and your freedoms. And remember that, as I say, if New Jersey was the cockpit of the revolution, Elizabethtown was right in the center of it.
Just minutes from New York City, we are the gateway to the state of New Jersey. Experience Elizabeth. It all starts here.
Welcome back to our city, where I'm joined by Stephanie Pestana, talking about the Community Thanksgiving Luncheon here in the city of Elizabeth that's held at the Sampson Center on Thanksgiving Day. Stephanie, one of the things we're talking about at the break is the community, the people that go. How do you get their feedback? What do you think's going on with them, and how does the luncheon measure up to their expectations?
So we try, us as board members on the day of, we try to actually go and speak to all of the seniors or less fortunate people that are there. Just how can we better assist them? Even if it's more projects during the year besides Thanksgiving, we actually do have a Christmas baskets after Thanksgiving. So whatever's kind of left over from that day, from donations, then we always use it for further projects. So just, getting feedback, how can we better assist you? What can we do to better improve ourselves in this event for the following year? Just a lot of conversation.
So one year I left there and went to another smaller Thanksgiving giveaway and luncheon, some homeless people.
Okay.
And they ran out of turkeys. So we called the Portuguese Lions Club. They had an extra turkey or two.
Absolutely.
The police escorted them over, and we were able to serve this group where I was. And it was kind of like, the Bible class, the blessing of the loaves, and all of a sudden, all of this turkey
Just shows
appeared.
up.
And people were like, Mayor, where'd you get this turkey from? And I said, oh, the Portuguese Lions Club was gracious enough to give us 2 extra
Absolutely.
turkeys. So the leftovers, and people get to take some if needed, right?
Absolutely. All of our members that attend this event, they all have to-go containers. We don't want to see food go to waste. That is definitely not how we run our event. There's always more than enough to go around. Whoever enjoys their meal then, they just have a to-go container, have some for later. If you have more family members that were not able to come and join us for the event, make sure you pack up lunch or dinner for them as well. And actually, just to piggyback off of your story, 2 years ago, there was a family or a couple families that were actually residing out of a hotel because they were, homeless. And one of us got a phone call at the center and said, hey, these kids have, no food. They have nothing to go on. They're actually hungry. They're very much in need. There we go. That's what we did. We packed up some containers. We got some leftover toys that were left over that got, sponsored to this event. And we just went ahead and we delivered them too.
Well done. So the luncheon is held at the Sampson Center.
That is correct.
Is there entertainment at this?
There is. We have DJ music is being provided by our very own Leo member, Zach Panara. So he will be providing some music.
There's usually not entertainment, right? This is the first?
Just music.
Just music,
Yeah,
right?
just music.
And the luncheon's at the Sampson Center. Is every year get more people? Is about the same? How do you measure it?
It's very hard to measure. So last year we had a great turnout. We did, as a board, notice that there was less people in attendance. And we actually think, I don't know if you remember, Mayor, last year was a very, very cold Thanksgiving Day. So we think that has some effect for why we didn't have our numbers there. But we are doing a lot more outreach. We're spreading the word a lot more. So we're actually hoping that we get a good amount of people.
And the shuttle you spoke about, that's free, right? No, the residents aren't to pay for that shuttle.
At no cost. Again, it's due to the Office of Aging. There is a police officer that goes. There's 7 designated locations for pickups. So, our residents can either join us at a pickup location. Flyers are, posted all around, or they can just go and meet us there at the center.
So, Stephanie, do they need to sign up for the shuttle or just kind of show up at the location?
Just show up at the location.
They can, and we publicize the locations.
Absolutely.
Are there sponsors for this event?
Just the sponsors, like I said, that ones that sponsor the food or drinks or pumpkin pies or the toys for the kids that show up. That's about it.
You have a list of shuttles on that flyer?
I do.
You want to read it to us?
Absolutely. So there are various pickup locations. I will just read them over to you guys. So there's Fairleigh Towers, Elizabeth Towers, O'Donnell Towers, St. Patrick's Church, Alexian Manor, Fort Leonard Towers, or St. Joseph's Social Service Center. And they all have various pickup times if you're not there
Are
at
they
time.
posted in the center?
They are.
Okay.
They are.
So at those locations, if the people, especially in the senior buildings, walk to their lobby or something, they can see what the post is.
They're posted all over.
So family friendly, right? There's some families come.
Family friendly for whoever is in attendance, as well as for the actual volunteers.
So who do people call if they're watching the show between now and then, and they're interested in participating in any way?
To volunteer or to
either or?
Just show up.
Just show up if they want to volunteer.
Open door policy with us.
At the Sampson Center anytime after 11:30?
After 11. We're normally there bright and early setting up. Our kitchen people are actually finishing up at Mr. Grover Senior's house, and they bring everything on over, and then we carry on at the center's kitchen.
And if there are people in the community that want to go, they should go to one of those stops or call and say...
Either give us a call, we'll help them and tell them where they can get picked up, or just show up at the 800 North Broad Street. Phone number is 973-714-7098, and that is our president, Stephanie Vieira's phone number.
So since we have a few minutes left, we could talk about your role as president of the Elizabeth Board of Education.
Absolutely, Mayor.
So how long have you been on the Board of Education
I
now?
have been on the Board of Education for 4 years.
4 years, your 4th year.
This is my 4th year.
And you're serving as president this year.
I am.
So that's always a challenge because you have 8 other people besides yourself and working. What are the most important issues you think facing the Board of Education?
Just making sure that all of our children get the proper education. They deserve all the best. And just safety. That's actually something that we're taking on this year, is trying to provide safety, and knowing we actually just received a grant that we are very excited for. Tell
us about that grant, because the city was participating in that as well.
Absolutely. So we got the COPS grant,
Right.
And it was actually just announced 2 weeks ago. We just announced it at our previous board meeting, and we're excited to take that on and just move forward and seeing how we're going to provide all the safety with that grant into our schools.
So we're going to be working with retired officers?
That is correct.
And they're going to be located in the schools?
That is
or outside
correct.
the schools, right? So besides security and we have 28,000 students in the system.
I think you're off by almost 1,000, Mayor.
Am I really?
We're closer to 29,000 students.
29,000 students. I've been telling everybody 28, so I have to
Bump it up
that.
a number.
And last year's graduating class, Stephanie,
Was our biggest ever, Mayor.
you were there as the president.
We were.
And what do we have, 1,500 kids?
1,500 kids. That is the biggest graduating class size due to here in Elizabeth ever since forever.
And you hand out a diploma to every single kid, right? Or at least a book, and then they get it. Yeah.
They get the diploma in the mail.
So it doesn't,
But they
doesn't
get a
screwed.
pretty beautiful book, and we shake every single student's hand.
And it's out in Williamsfield,
It
which
is.
weather cooperating. So your term as president is going to come to an end in January.
That is
Because
correct.
did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. It was challenging. Kept me having a very busy year. As you said, I'm one of 9. A lot of different personalities, but at the end of the day, we all as a team just come together and do what's best for our students.
Stephanie, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
Appreciate your work with the Portuguese Lions as well as the Elizabeth Board of Education.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you.
We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City. I'm Mayor Chris Bolwage. A happy Thanksgiving, and I want to thank Miss Stephanie Pestana for being on the show here this evening.